Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode, Two Pieces of Toast. Today, we have two very awesome guests. We have Character, hailing from Atlanta, Georgia, right outside of there anyways, and we have Viani Lucca, coming from Phoenix, Arizona. Gentlemen, how are you today?
I'm
Good.
doing real good, man.
Yeah, just
I
chilling.
have, first of all, a very important question to ask both of you. Do you fucking love making music? Or do you just do it because it's fucking nature? Because I have friends that say they love making music, but then you get down to the nitty gritty and all they can talk about is the money side of things. Whereas I have other friends who are like, I could make music for fucking 2 years and never see a penny, and I
I'd
would
die.
fucking love this shit.
I'd die for this. I've lost a lot for this. This is my life. This is not just a passion or it's not. It's my life. Like that's all I can say to that. Like it's more than love. It's the air I breathe.
That's beautiful. What about you, Character?
Yeah, so for sure, like music is kind of a unique thing to me because my focus is video and photo, and it has been for 15 years, and I've never even thought about making music before. I started a year ago. I'm 34 years old. I just started a year ago, and it's the last thing that making music for me is about is money because I've never enjoyed doing anything more in my entire life. It's the most therapeutic, most enjoyable, most I want to be making music all the time.
hmm
I
That's
feel
And
like
would you
I'm
say
cheating on
that
videos sometimes.
well, videos is your kind of career, right? Would you say that
Yeah.
this is more like a passion that you found on your own?
Go
No, go ahead.
No, absolutely. And it's kind of like I learned a lesson from video. You know, it was a passion in high school, and I decided to go to college for it. And I like, don't ever make your passion your career. Don't ever try to make your passion your career.
Okay.
Um, it really like I still love video, but it does feel like a job when I do it. It does. I love doing it, but it feels like a job. But like I got to go on stage for my first time the other day and do a song that I did, and I mean, God, that was
Oh,
like there's no
shit.
feeling like it. There's no feeling like it, you know?
Killed
That
it.
was that was
That's
exactly what was about
dope.
to come out of my mouth because I've only been on stage a few times and not even performing my own shit, just like with friends, performing some of their shit or even just doing cover shit. And the first time I ever did it, this doesn't count as like an example of that, but the first time I ever performed, quote unquote, was I did fucking drunk karaoke at a bar. And I was so excited, right? Because my whole life I've been afraid to sing in front of anyone. I was bad at public speaking. I was in a spelling bee one time when I was a kid in first grade, and I had a Freudian slip, and I misspelled salt in front of like 500 fucking
Oh
people.
man.
Yeah, in front of like 500 people. When I won the spelling bee that led me to the state spelling bee, so I'm not an idiot, but I saw these people and then went CALT salt
Oh my God.
in front of everyone. So I've had like this fucking terrible, deep, fear of public speaking since that moment. But I got just drunk enough one day at a McAdoo's, and I sang, I sang some Alice in Chains and got a standing ovation afterwards. Me and my
That's
brother did,
awesome.
and
Yeah.
that feeling right there, like I can't even imagine performing my own shit. That would be just and have people sing along with you. I bet that's a crazy feeling, man. Couldn't
It was
imagine.
fun. It was fun.
Yeah. I haven't had that feeling yet. I'm the same way. I was always shy and shit when I was younger and stuff, and never really was the person that wanted to be seen or talk, whatever. So it's like
Yeah.
that's like the fear that I have too. It's like fuck, like how am I gonna be in front of but like people that have met and like they play my music and they sing along and shit, that I share. That's like damn, that's like unexplainable feeling. It's like damn, you
Yeah.
know,
That
yeah,
kind of kinship you get when somebody shares your passion with you like that, and not because they have to, but because they went out of their way because they care for you or they love you as a person, and they dive into your passion and then share that with you. That's incredible. Like, I remember when I first started making art, like actual design art for my clothing brand and stuff, and I would have people reach out to me and like send me pictures wearing my stuff. Griffin's one of those people who does it for me all the time. He'll send me pictures of him wearing my stuff. It's like, damn, dude, I spent hours making that design, and to see somebody just walking around wearing it, not because they have to, but because they think it's awesome too, it's just like, that's a
yeah.
badass feeling.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
And
That's really
I
cool.
get so many compliments on the shit that I buy from you. And actually, I made it a well, like about a year ago, I told you I'm not buying clothes that I don't like and that I don't support the maker of anymore. So yeah, basically a lot of my shit is going to be coming from you.
Fuck yeah, that's what I like to hear.
Oh,
But as for
And
that,
around here, just because, sorry to interrupt again,
no,
but
no
like
worries.
because you have the shipping, like nobody in my, I want to even say country has another design like this. Like it's
yeah,
very cool. I
that's pretty
like it.
A-
I mean, there's
as
probably a few people here and there, but mm, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say, as someone who's like outside of your country, looking into those shipping standards was extremely daunting at first. For anyone that does any kind of international business that listens to this is a huge fucking tip. Make sure you have contact with somebody in that country first, or you're gonna be blindsided. The first few orders I did in Canada, I didn't realize how their shipping worked, and it was costing me like $30 or $40 to ship something out. And
Oh
like so
crap.
yeah, exactly. So I would sell a hoodie and then make 1 penny on it, and I'd be like, or even I lost money on a couple. I was like, yo,
Damn.
what the fuck? I was
Yeah.
like, wait, why does my bank account say I just spent $12 to send someone a hoodie? I was like, that doesn't make sense. But that's a big thing. But I wanted to touch on you saying that you deal with that shyness and stuff, Viani. That definitely represents yourself or represents itself in your music, but I fucking vibe with that, dude. I love that kind of somber feel you get from some of those songs because that's some of the best music when somebody really putting raw emotion into it. Whenever you get into like a mindset to make music, how do you bring yourself to that place to create something and like share that emotion?
Well, I've always done music when since I was young. I write poems and stuff, but really never had like anything, it was, just like writing shit. But, I did a little bit of garage band and the USB snowball mic like in high school, but I really didn't have anything to really say, you know what I mean? I really haven't,
Yeah.
no real heartbreak, no life stuff, so after, got older, I'm 27 now. Around 24, I got diagnosed with testicular cancer, but I'm cancer free now. But
Fuck
that
yeah,
just,
man.
yeah,
Congratulations, man.
thank you. That was just
Oh,
kind of like
shit.
a wake up call, like fucking, like whoa, like I really have nothing to leave behind in this world, like as far as like doing something good in this world, like
Yeah.
I just look back at my life and just try to see what I was or what I had done, and I really didn't see much. And I was like, and I made it a very point, and through music, it was just like an outlet because, through like different, life problems and heartbreaks and different addictions and stuff. And I literally just started doing music just for myself. Like it's a way for me to actually just, I have over 1,000 songs and like most of them I will never release because literally it's for myself, like to hear myself, to think, to even like stuff past, present, future, things I don't understand now. I'll understand later in the moment. It's like it trips me out sometimes, but it's like damn. And then the fact that I could touch other people with it and like motivate them and make them feel like, like there's somebody out there that understands them is like that's what it's about. That's what drives me because like every day I feel the pain that I have. Like, I just, it's the way for me to release. Like, if I didn't do this shit, I'd be going crazy. Like, if I'm not doing music, because it's like, I feel comfortable what I do. And it's like, yeah, I wish, of course I want to do this for a career, but it's not about the money. It's about the passion. I wish I didn't have to go to work a 9 to 5, like, and just do this. That's what, but like, this is my life, it's like the reason why I
It's
live.
sort of like it's something that you started doing as like an outlet for yourself when you were younger, and that sort of developed as you developed the technical skills of actually like making lyrics and that sort of thing. And as you got older, you took your experiences and kind of melded the two. That's very natural, very it's an awesome way to develop a musical love. That's yeah,
Yeah.
very good, very wholesome, I would say.
And I think this is more of like a spiritual journey for me. Like I know a lot of people, is not religious, but I believe in like, God and universe and energies it to me it's just been more of like finding myself in a spiritual journey more than
Oh
anything.
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, man. And like music is all vibrations too, so it does bring you closer to a lot of the wavelengths on a wider
absolutely.
scale.
Absolutely.
Would you say that when you started doing music, it was like I wouldn't say started doing music. When you started writing poems and stuff like that, was it out of a place of lack of understanding from other people, or was it more of a
It's
just
just
something to help you understand yourself, sort of thing?
I think it was just more like curiosity, like just the things that I thought, and I was always analyzing stuff when I was younger, um,
Okay.
and and like I think it was just more of, yeah, like just I think just trying to figure out what I analyzed, like in a way, it's like I look back at it and be like, oh, okay, that's what I understood from it, because that's my
Oh,
reputation, my representation and perspective from it, because I know like everybody goes through the same like a lot of the same stuff in life. We all feel the pain, but the thing is, our own perspective of it is different. That's why all the music and so that's the beauty of the life is finding the perspective that you see it through and like other people and like I guess when I was looking at it, I would look at it and realize my perspective of it, and I was just like, oh shit, okay. It was a lot about love, and a lot of my shit is about love. I was always, you know,
mm,
just
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's really interesting that you put it that way too, because music specifically has helped me through the hardest times of my life, and because of that reason, because I was able to find someone who shared a perspective of something I thought no one could possibly understand. Like when we're all older now. We're all in late 20s, early 30s. We're getting, you experience things. And one of the things you experience when you get to this age is loss. That's something that I had severe trouble coping with. And, once I got sober, I experienced the worst losses in my life. So the only thing I could turn to when I had no family or friends I felt like I could talk to because I didn't want to bear them with the trouble was music. And when it comes to finding that perspective and tapping into that perspective, I think it is important to go about it the way you said. Like you want to go about it healing yourself first because healing yourself is the first step to healing another. You can't heal somebody else when you're damaged. I don't care what anyone says. You got people that try to fix broken people all the time. That shit just does not work if you're not stable yourself. You're just gonna end up relying on fixing them, which then causes pressure on them because they're like, okay, this person obviously, you know, is trying to intervene because they're fucked up too. And that's like trying to build a house on, or fucking sit on a chair that only has one or two legs out of four. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You
And I
can't
think,
be
Break
you
that
can't be a
down.
person you can't be a person who helps others if you're still a person who needs help himself.
Mhm.
absolutely. But for the perspective side of things, that's one of the main things I wanted to talk to you about, character. I know you've done it for 15 years as a career, but man, some of that stuff you film it is art, bro. It's straight up art, and I love photography and cinematography, and I like understanding the mind of someone who can see it from that angle. Like, what are some of like the best projects you've had the pleasure of working on over the course of your career?
Well, see, it's funny because for the first 13 years of my professional career, I graduated in Full Sail in '09. Um, the first 13 years, I worked jobs I didn't really want to. I was in reality TV for 3 years, and I hated every second of that. I hate reality TV. I never wanted to do it, but they, offered me good enough money to say yes. Um, I did that for 3 years. That was one of my big first jobs out the gate. Like I did a couple other little like side gigs, freelance things before then, and then I left there because I got an opportunity to do wedding videos in Maryland, where I came from. I was in Florida at the time. So long story short, I was in and out of the film industry doing things like that, wedding videos, little reality TV projects here and there, and then I've managed a couple studios, which sounds way bigger of a deal than it was. I really didn't do anything in those studios. But 2 years
I mean, maybe.
ago, I y'all were talking about, it got you through the most difficult parts of your life and everything. 2 years ago, I was going through the most difficult thing in my life. And I was trying to figure out, I was trying to like find myself again, see, find where I was. And a friend of mine said that a good friend of hers was making music. And I was like, well, hit him up. I'll do a video. I'll do a video for free. Fuck it. I just want to shoot. Um, and so I did that. And then I did a few more videos for the guys in the group, the friends that he had. And they weren't really whatever. So I did that for about a year, and then I met my buddy Chase Holland, and uh, we started really getting like on the hustle. And what I found was like I started using the gimbal like a stabilizer for my camera, And if you look at my videos that I was doing in the first year, I'm proud of the motion of the camera and everything, but like I can at least tell that I didn't understand music the way I did because I started making music a year ago. And now when I'm shooting with an artist on a gimbal and like all my motions are smooth and like we're like he's staring at the camera and he's rapping or singing or whatever, like I feel what he's feeling. um it's I don't know, it's like a weird
It's
bonding
from
moment.
both perspectives now. It's no longer like you are filming him, but you're almost part of the creation from both sides of it as well. Like you understand
Absolutely.
both aspects of it. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a it's the it I will say that music videos are the first video projects that I've ever worked on that I really feel like are a true sense of art, not just a production, you know?
Yeah. Man, I
Yeah, because
couldn't
you're
imagine how fucking terrible it would be to work on reality
You have
TV though.
no
Holy
idea.
fuck.
Just,
I
imagine everything that you think you would experience and multiply it by 10, and that's it. Like,
Dude, I hate reality TV, and my fiance
geez.
loves that shit. She
uh,
literally was watching something the other day called the Baddest Bitch Network. She
oh,
found it on some
what?
like,
Like
dude,
the
it's just
whole
like,
channel?
yeah,
That's just
dude,
funny.
bro. Okay, so let me tell you, my girlfriend loves that fucking like that snatch him up by the hair, yelling fucking
Um,
club shit, and it's so crazy because she's not like that. She's like stay at home. I almost said stay at home mom. She has a job, but she's like a homebody. You know what I'm saying? She like lay up in the bed, play with the baby. Like we go on walks at the park and shit, and then we get
living
home.
vicariously through the shows.
Yeah, and then we get home, and it's I fucking told you, bitch. And this, I'm like, oh my god, can you turn that shit down, bro? I cannot think.
Oh,
She loves it though. I really think nobody, but the crazy part is she gets drawn into it like she's one of them. She's like, "Oh no, bitch! I know you didn't let her do that," and I'm
oh
like,
my God.
this is insane. I don't get it, but yeah, I could.
I wish I could get into shows with that like that much vigor, that much narrative that I'm actually conversing with the TV. Like that's wild to me.
Yeah,
Fuck.
that's suspending your disbelief, bro. Like,
I do when I watch anime, bro. I'm like that though. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like beat his fucking ass or MMA, especially fucking MMA, dude.
Oh,
Whenever
sports I can get.
Yeah, whenever Poirier knocked out McGregor, I lost my mind. It was fucking 2 in the morning. I was downstairs screaming. I spilled beer everywhere. My fiance was like, "What the fuck is happening? Like, did somebody break in the house?" And I was like, "No, the impossible happened. You don't understand." And I've never been like, bro. When I was a kid, I grew up in the fucking backwoods of Mountain City. I've talked about this on the podcast. Everyone there, racist as fuck. I'm white, but they thought I was Middle Eastern because I have darker skin. Because fucking uh, lineage bullshit, you know. But everyone thought I was fucking Middle Eastern, so I grew up in a place where I hated fucking everything redneck, white, fucking sportsy. I was like, oh, okay, here comes another fucking football player, fucking corn-fed, kisses daddy on the lips, motherfucker. And I hated everything to do with that shit. And then I got older, and I got taken to a couple hockey games, and I realized the only part I liked about hockey was when they were punching each other in the face. And I was like, wait, there's a sport where they just punch each other in the face. And that's how I fucking found out that I like MMA, and I've been training now for a while and shit. I do Brazilian jiu-jitsu and shit, but
That's what's up.
one of the ways to get like into that flow state is I listen to fucking like I listen to a lot of my friends' music. Like I like to support my friends. That's why I asked you guys to send me some of your shit like before we started the podcast because I really wanted to get to know your guys' personality through your music, and it's so fucking interesting, man. You guys are awesome. Your guys' fucking creative mind and your like your perspective on the whole thing is just so unique. Like, and I know you character. I know you for sure have heard some of Nephilim stuff. I've been on a couple of his tracks, and making music with him is a fucking trip.
yeah,
It's
for
it's
sure,
it's
for
awesome,
sure.
dude. He is a goofball, and I love it. And it's so funny because we never go into the studio with like a script of like, okay, we got this beat and we got this lyrics. That would probably make it sound so much better. But every
Well,
time
he loves freestyling.
that's what I'm saying. We get in there and we just freestyle. Me and him have been freestyling. It started in his truck when we were kids, when we were like 13 or 14. We started freestyling just in his truck, whipping around. And ever since then, man, I can't tell you how many different times we've recorded shit and never released it. Just like how you were saying, Viani, we've got fucking I guarantee you thousands of tracks that just got thrown away. And if anyone ever finds them, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck is this?"
I think one of my favorites. I don't know if you're on this one, but it was something like Cheetah Line, Doobie Satchel, or something like that.
Oh God.
That
Yeah.
song's like a trip in itself, bro. That song's crazy.
Hit up the chauffeur. I'ma have to
Yeah,
hassle. I think I'm on that
I
somewhere.
love that song, bro.
Yeah, man, he's a good guy, dude. I wish he could have been on here. I was trying to get a hold of him, but he's busy. But
Yeah, no,
yeah, I think it's really really important though, like what you guys are doing, like not even just for other people, but or for yourselves rather, but for other people. Like if you guys got to keep making art, dude, and sharing it. And of
Yeah.
course, there's always going to be those things that you got to get through, like while you're recording art. Like right now, we were talking about it for the podcast. My son, been in the hospital past couple days, and he's good now. So for everyone listening to the podcast, it's like, fuck you, you're recording a podcast while your kid's dying. You go fuck yourself. But he's straight now. But it's just one of those things you have to juggle so much of life. And when you get those few minutes to work on your passion, oh my God, it's incredible. It's incredible, man. Just getting fucking 30 minutes to sit down after working hard all day and you get some peace and you start working on something you like. That's the best feeling in the fucking world.
yeah,
I
no
love
doubt.
So I did want to ask, making videos, making films, have you noticed any, well, not any, but like a big change in terms of the last few years with how people are approaching the process, or not say approaching the process, but dealing with you while creating the project? Like, I'm just wondering if I want to say social climate has influenced your type of work. You know what I mean?
Oh, no
Without saying
doubt,
black
no
and
doubt.
white.
And I mean, the answer to that has a lot of levels, but you know, I'll say one of the most delicate parts of the industry of especially making music videos, and I learned this on my first shoot is and it's why I go by character when I go to Atlanta, when I'm working, I don't tell people my real name because my first shoot, man, the dude showing me text messages where a guy's threatening to come kill him on the shoot, and then they start throwing blue flags and like
Oh, right.
like I didn't know what I was getting involved in, and now I'm shooting a video for, it's just, uh, I want to protect my family, I'm not
Yeah.
in,
And that's gotta be
um,
tough too, because you meet, like, I'm sure you meet tons of people, and you kind of have to sort of vet who you're working with
yeah,
in that
absolutely.
case.
Because also, like, now I shot a video with that guy. Like, now, if I show up to another video and it's shooting his city and they start throwing blood colors, like, what, I don't know. Is that a
Yeah.
problem? I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. Like, um,
You don't
uh,
want to put yourself in the middle
right,
of
right.
any of
So as far
that,
as like
but it
climate,
is
yeah,
your
that's,
career. Like, it's like, that's gotta be tough because it is the way you kind of build yourself and make money, like, in terms of filming stuff. Not so much like you are making music, but it's not really your main income source. But I'm saying that, yeah, I imagine it would be very difficult and touchy. Like, is that why you kind of, well, not that you really switched from, you're still doing music videos, yes?
oh yeah,
Yes, and now are you, okay, yeah, so yeah, you basically answered that. It comes with experience, right? Like, the
sure.
more people
Just gotta
you run
learn how to
into,
like
the more
navigate. You got to navigate the industry. It's delicate. It really is.
Right.
This industry it's a fickle beast, man. Like there's
Well,
a
that's
So,
lot
the
like,
to it.
any tips for like people that are listening that you're like, maybe just from a big oops that I had, don't do this, without being too specific. I mean,
Man, and okay, yeah, I have some, and it breaks my heart that I have to say this, man, but don't trust anybody.
for sure.
Don't, it
really,
sucks, but 99% of the people that you meet, especially in this industry, they are just look at and find a way to get theirs.
Yeah.
They're not worried about you. And if they do seem worried about you, that means they think they can get something from you
Yeah.
or get something with you, and that's not a problem, but you still got to watch those people,
Yeah, for sure. Well, and
Um,
this is the only industry in all genres of music that is plagued with violence for no reason,
oh,
bro.
absolutely, absolutely. And I won't. I won't work with artists who talk about killing people. I just won't do it.
Yeah.
No.
Wait. Let me let me ask you a question. What about like Tyler type artists, like Tyler the Creator? They're like, I fucked my dad in the ass and decapitated him with an axe. You know what I'm saying? Oh Jesus.
Can I just leave that decision to be made when he offers me the amount of money you'd offer me?
Right. Man, I wish I had that
I
kind of
mean,
reach to where Tyler, after this episode, he was like, "Yo, that dude sounds cool as shit." He just wrote a check and sent it your way.
have you ever
Oh,
had like a stark, like a really surprising, like you've met the person, you listen to a couple other songs and whatnot. Well, you've met the person, you've talked to them about making music, then you hear their music, and it's like a really stark contrast from how they deal with you, kind of mean.
Oh yeah, I mean, for sure. Like, I've talked to some like 16-year-old kids who are, like they're super polite when I'm talking to them online and things like that, and then they send it and it's it's about how they robbed 3 liquor stores last
yeah.
night, and I'm like, what happened?
Damn. Like
And
a flip
Did
of a
you
penny. That's
did
weird.
you like black out last night? What?
well, and the thing about that too, a lot of kids that are that age and make that music are kids that have rich ass parents, and they just want to glorify a lifestyle they've never been a part of. Because I don't know if you lived kind of like I did. I grew up poor as shit, bro. I grew up in the slums. I grew up in those neighborhoods that were crime filled, and like you had cops fucking patrolling the streets at night, and some of those areas I lived in, the cops wouldn't even come to. And you grow up like that, and then you hear some white kid that lives in a fucking 6-figure home being like talking about fucking robbing people and shooting people and moving weight, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck do you know about it? You keep glorifying it and you get into it, then you'll know about it, and more than likely you're gonna end up dead. Like, unfortunately. And that's I
I
don't know.
bet those are the ones that pay the best to make the videos, though, unfortunately.
Those are the ones that won't pay nothing. Those are the ones that say, "Oh,
Well,
I'll get you later. When we blow up, I'll get you."
Yeah. Man, that's the truest thing I've ever heard just then. You know how many guys I've had that have been like, bro, just let me. Oh man, I have this one guy. He's been pushing for months and months. He's like, man, just front me like 50 of your t-shirts. I'll move them for you, and I'll put them in my place, and I'll give you back. He's saying he's gonna give me 75 and he'll keep 25. Okay, first of all, no, you pay me up front. I'll get 100 of what they're worth. Then you can make your money on top of it afterwards. Like, you got people who are always looking for a handout. I'll get you back later, man. You never trust them. I'll get you back later. Unless you've been friends with that person for fucking years.
Yeah, unless you like
Years.
have a connection with the person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. No, that was my first video shoot with the one I was talking about, the guy that was doing the colors. I was just so hungry to, and honestly, like I wanted work. I needed work, not for money, but for experience, so I could start really promoting my services.
Mhm.
So I told him, I was like, look, bro, like if you don't have it right now, that's fine. Like let's just you can pay me when you buck, blah, blah, blah. And like I knew I wasn't gonna get paid the whole thing, but I thought I'd get paid at least some of it. And I ended up getting $150 out of 300 that he owed me. But
He cried.
but like it was my fault. I trusted him. I know I shouldn't. I didn't know him for shit. But see, I will say that landed me another job, that landed me like another live gig that I made connections that I'm still benefiting from right now. So
The silver lining, my friend.
exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, Viani. All right. If you had one dream artist you could work with, anyone in the world, who is it and why?
Neil Young.
No
I did
way.
not see that coming.
Me neither, dude.
That's my favorite artist,
that's
for real. Like
surprising.
Old Man, and that's my favorite song. Man, I could listen to that shit. Like I grew up like with my grandpa. Like he listened to classic rock. Listening to Pink Floyd.
Vianney, you crack me up, bro. Neil
For
Young.
real.
Pulls a Neil Young out of
Neil Young,
I
bro.
fucking like I want to meet that motherfucker. Like I don't give a fuck. Like yeah,
Bro,
because like
that'd be sick.
his song, like really, the Old Man really just like oh man, take a look at my life.
Fuck yeah.
Like, yo, that's just like deep as
You should
fuck.
do a cover. You should do a cover, dude.
Dude,
I can't type
you
to cover that shit. That shit's legend. It's legendary.
you have to. It's pay your homage. Like in the beginning part of it, be like, this is an homage. I know I could never touch the real thing, but I fucking love this guy. And then just go in. Because that was beautiful what I just heard just then, that little rendition you did.
Yeah.
So, fun thing about Neil Young is he was born in Toronto. He's Canadian.
Yep. Canadian American.
Weird, huh?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I told. Yeah, I told you guys. Griffin's from Canada. Anyone listens knows that because I always ask him shit about Canada. It's like, so the way I think of Canada, it's like America's cousin that just came from a different state and has some sort of much better parenting. I guess is the way to put
I
it.
could agree
Like,
with that. I could
he
agree with
show
that.
he shows up and he's like, "Are you sure we should be giving the dog peanut butter and putting it on our bowls?" And you're like, "Fuck yeah, dude! That's exactly what we should be doing." And unfortunately, I know a lot of guys in Canada. It's crazy how many people I've met in Canada just through the mutual friend group I have. But I've met people adjacent to this friend group from this friend group that like glorify the worst parts of America. Like I know guys in Canada that want to be like Confederates. That's fucking crazy, right?
Oh shit.
What does that have to do with
Wait,
fucking
what?
Canada? Right? What does that have to do with Canada? Griffin
What?
knows what I'm talking about. There's a whole fucking sect of people in his hometown up there in Chatham, Kent. Not your hometown, but you know what I'm saying. And you're in
Yeah.
where you and Greg are staying in Chatham, Kent, where they fucking like they have rebel flags and shit. That's got
How
nothing
many-
to
Yeah.
do with
Yeah.
Canada.
It's wild, man. There's also people back when a couple of years ago that were flying Trump flags and stuff like that. Like it didn't even make any sense. Like
I
you
really, I want to go interview those people.
Dude, I don't because one of the guys Greg told me about. Greg is our mutual friend in up there, and mine and Griffin's mutual friend. And he tells me about the guys he hangs out with. Which Greg, if you're listening to this, which I know you never will, you're a fucking dumbass sometimes. But he hangs out with this one guy that like purposefully takes his truck and like runs over animals. Like he chased a fox through like a cornfield until he
What?
fucking ran over it and killed it. He's like fucked in his head, dude. That's psycho, exactly. That's some shit that,
Serial killer shit.
yeah, for real.
So-
Well, that's an identifying moniker in serial killers. Bedwetting, what is it? Bedwetting, harming animals, and trouble socializing. I think those are three, and then like early sexual encounter. Is that all of them? Something like that.
I'm sure.
I'm glad I don't wet the bed. No.
Hey, my favorite
I
comic.
know, I'm sitting over here with a checkbook. Like, damn, no.
I know,
Ah.
right?
I mean, how do you classify a bedwetter though? So the thing is, like, they wet the bed when they were children. Fucking everyone did. Like my
Yeah, but
kid,
there's like a certain age that you
yeah, there's a
should not be
cutoff
wetting the bed,
for
like,
sure.
I don't know what that age is, but as a parent, like.
For me, it was
So
it was March 2nd, 2023. No,
uh, I used to sleepwalk when I was a kid, and instead of peeing in the bed, I used to go to other places and laugh maniacally while pissing on whatever I was in front of. So sometimes it would be plants, other times it would be my sister's bed. I would just like, yeah, I would sleepwalk around, and I would go down the stairs sometimes and be like, okay, I'm just gonna piss on this plant, I guess, in my sleep.
No,
Bro,
but
this was like-
don't jump past the laughing maniacally part. That was what
Right?
I was
Oh,
really
okay,
like,
yeah, that was a little bit weird too. I guess that's how they
a
found
little
out.
bit.
They were like, I was like, ha ha ha, like I was really going ham when I was peeing
I
and
would
laughing.
really, I would kill to hear an audio recording of that. Is that?
Yeah,
I was like maybe 10 or 12, like, or
That's
10,
funny.
11.
That's funny.
You want to hear what's fucked up? I'm 26 and I still sleepwalk all the time. Like
Bro,
my fiance's had to get used to it. Like I'll wake up, I'm not awake, but I'll get up, I'll have my eyes open, I'll have full conversations with her. I have no recollection of. I'll get up, make bowls of cereal at 3 a.m, and then come to the bed and eat them completely asleep. I'll like grab knives out of the house and like stash them under my pillow because that's that's some PTSD shit, bro. I grew up with I grew up with some fucking some shit, and I would just.
Yeah.
Whatever. But anyways, and I just do the crazy at 26, and I want to do a sleep study and see what the fuck is happening because there's no way in hell I would ever hurt anyone in my sleep. I'm not a violent guy. I mean, I train,
No,
jujitsu.
but what if you like tripped and fell while you're holding the knife? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, the real thing that I haven't, here's the cool thing though, that I'm very proud of. Since my son has been born, not one single time in my sleep have I went downstairs and grabbed a knife.
that's that
The thing I
instinct.
do now, which is the crazy part, now I wake up in my sleep and think the baby's crying and I'll change his diapers and shit completely asleep.
Oh,
And I do the weirdest shit. Like I'll just pick him up while he's asleep. He's not even crying. And I'll like shake my fiance awake and be like, oh, I think he's choking. And then I'm asleep. I have no recollection. And she says like, I say wild shit that makes no sense. Like my father and my brother have this story they tell of me when I was a kid where I was like actively cheering on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich because it was fighting another food item in my sleep. I was like, kick his fucking ass, peanut butter. And I was like
that's
fucking
so
10 years old.
funny.
And there's never been a break of that. Like, I think actually the only time I had a break from sleepwalking was when I was like heavily addicted to heroin and shit, which, I've talked about that a bunch on the podcast. I'm not ashamed of
That,
my drug past, but I didn't actually dream or sleep much when I was on heroin because my drug of choice, my cocktail, like I said, I've talked about this, so I'm not too worried about it, but I used to take heroin and Molly and mix them and do them all the time.
bro.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I know I overdosed a few times,
Oh,
but I used to take heroin and Molly and mix them together. And obviously, when you're doing that, the only sleep you get is you nodding off because you're about to fucking die every, couple
Right.
minutes.
Right.
And so for those years of me doing that, I never dreamed or slept walk. And in my mind, it was because I was getting healthier. That's crazy how the mind of an addict works, right? Like I was telling myself, like, oh my
It's
gosh,
medicine.
yeah, I'm so skinny. I haven't had night terrors because I have night terrors every night. And I was like, I haven't had night terrors in forever,
Oh,
man. I
goodness.
can go days without eating. I'm good at fasting now. And those are the things I was telling myself.
Yeah,
And it really
that's
is.
the mind of addict. You're right about that, man.
exactly. That's what I was.
Respect to you realizing that though, for sure.
I think I'm coming up on what is it? May of this year. May of this year, I will have been 6 years sober, I believe.
Congratulations, bro.
Congratulations, man.
Appreciate it. I'm I think it was around my 21st birthday that I decided to get completely sober from. I mean, I drink alcohol and smoke weed, but
Yeah, there's
you
no
know,
count.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I could be fucking still doing coke off of McDonald's fucking urinal the top of it while I'm taking a piss, fucked up out of my mind.
I mean, it
Isn't
seems like
that
you
just
just waited till you're done taking a piss. That's just
no,
dirty.
dude. I know, dude. That's the thing. Here's the worst part about that too. You guys ever go to like shows or festivals or anything?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so I used to do the floor scores. Like, I didn't give a fuck what I found on the ground.
Oh,
And
Oh
that's the
gosh.
first intervention I ever had for my family and friends. One of them was from Nephilim. It was actually him and my friend group. They took me to a show. I went there with no money. I bummed money from them to get my ticket in. Met some random guy that had a bunch of acid and was like, "All right, if you front me some of your acid, I will make sure it gets sold while we're here, and you can just give me a couple hits." And I did that with every single person I found that had drugs throughout
oh
the
my
entire show.
God.
And I was moving so much weight during that show that I wasn't listening to music. My friends were just watching me run from point A to point B to point C to point D to point E to point F, doing each drug at each place in a circle all night. And I was picking shit up off the ground, doing it as I was going.
Oh my
I
God.
can't tell you how many pills I did that night and how much Molly and fucking we did ketamine and I did some heroin and I was fucking I mean I was gone, dude. And my friend like he was literally running after me, chasing me that whole night like, "Hey man, please stop. Like slow down, you're going to die." And I couldn't hear him because my mind was like, "Okay, you got to
Yeah,
get to the
just
next one.
focus,
You
hyper
got to get to
focus.
the next one. Yeah,
Yeah,
let's
the
get to the
drug
next
takes
one."
drug takes over. Yeah, it's crazy.
But it's just I don't know, man. It's one of those things that when you beat it and you replace it with something, that passion I had for getting high, I have for being a father now. And holy fuck, man. I love being a dad, man. It's the best thing in the fucking world, dude. There's no high like watching that little guy laugh his ass off because I'm a comic to him. My fiance hates it. She's like, "You're not even funny. Like, why does he just laugh at everything you do?" And I'm doing literally nothing. I'm just looking at him, and he thinks it's the best thing in the world. And that feeling right there, man, you can't top that shit.
No, that's awesome, bro.
I don't know why I got on that long tangent. Everyone listens like I've probably heard that a few times now, but you know what?
So-
It,
No, that was the first for us. I mean, that was
Yeah, true. We ain't heard it.
I
really-
wanted to ask you guys before we got off topic, when we were talking about the sleepwalking and that type of thing, have you guys ever experimented with lucid dreaming or trying to
I
be
I
awake while asleep?
I tried. When I was younger, I used to be able to control. Like I used to have a lot of dreams when I was younger. I could control them, and I would have the same reoccurring dreams. Like I was always like in my hometown in the same places, but like I was aware that I was dreaming. And then I went to high school. I started getting more into like spirituality and like just meditation and just kind of like energies projection and just like astral projection too. And I would spend fucking forever just like in the dark ass room for hours just with that music on YouTube and shit. And just like just
Just
focus
meditating, right? Okay.
meditating, just try to get out of my body. But like, I can't say if I was or if I wasn't because I really can't recall. But like there was 1 second of like pure bliss that I felt. But then like after that it was just like I was only like I was able to like in my opinion like feel energies more, and be able to like because there's one, it
No,
was
for
weird.
sure.
Yeah, it was weird. It's like when I was in high school, there's this kid. He was a huge dude, like like 6 foot, but he was a teddy bear, And he was like this
Mhm.
first time I've ever seen him mad, and he's walking down the hall, and like I'm like, what's wrong? He's like, I don't know, I just can't calm down. So I said, let me help you. And it's like then I was like, Bruce Lee was my shit, flow like with the water, like so I was like, all into like that. So I put like my hand maybe like 4 inches like from his stomach, and I just like meditated and focused and stuff, and then like literally like 30 seconds later he was just like he was drunk, like he was like, oh shit, like he almost fucking fell over. He's like, what the fuck? And like I was shocked too because I didn't know that was gonna fucking work, but like he calmed down, and he was like all the energy was gone out of him, like tired. So then that was like really my like
That's
yeah, the
crazy.
fucking energies are real and shit, so. But yeah, like I was never able to actually like see my body. Like in a dream I can, but like actually doing it willfully, like nah. I wish though. If I could
That
learn, I
So
would.
Does
would you
go ahead.
no, I was gonna ask, would you say that it was more of like you were exploring in your mind rather than having your mind explore the outside world away from your body kind of thing?
I
Because
think
that's
that
still a form of lucid dreaming, I believe.
yeah, cause that actually yeah, cause I would tell my like the first time I ever was aware of my dreams, I was being chased by like dinosaurs, right? And like, cause I used to watch dinosaurs all the time, and like I was like scared as hell, like oh shit, I'm gonna die. And then I heard a voice like it was my voice, but it was like, hey, you're just dreaming. Like if you die, you'll wake up. You're just in a dream. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm in a dream. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm in a dream. And then ever since then, I'm aware of my dreams. And like I was always like I used to always be able to fly in my dreams. That was so cool. But there's this one
I
moment.
Yeah, right? Like, I feel like that's something that occurs with people who are able to realize that they're dreaming. And it is kind of like a point of prep. There's a point where you do know that you're dreaming kind of from then on. Like, there's some dreams that sneak in and there that trick you, but I feel like you do reach that point where it's like something clicks and you're like, okay, this is now when I'm dreaming, especially when you're deep into that spirituality kind of vibrational state when you are trying to like go to
Yeah,
sleep or
absolutely. So,
even so meditate. But I also wanted to ask the other guys what their takes on it too. I interrupted. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I got a couple things to say about it, and one might lead me on a tangent. So if I go too far, just let me know, but I'll keep it concise. Uh, First of all, does DMT count?
I think it fucking does. I've had some
I
crazy experiences with that
Yes.
shit.
I would
Yes.
say so.
Yeah, no, I had I've done it a couple times. I don't think I was doing it right the first few times, but yeah, me and my buddy did it this one time, and it's a whole experience. Like that would be another tangent if I went into that, but it was that was incredible. But uh, I think that dreaming okay, so y'all like, do y'all lay down like when I get a headache or whatever? The only way I can get rid of it is to like just cut all light out from my eyes. Like it's not noise for me that bothers me, so I'll just like put some on my face and then like, lay down. And I'm not a napping type, so I'll just lay there and I'll get in this like weird preliminary dream state. Y'all know what I'm talking about at all?
Like a fugue
yeah,
state, yeah.
I can
And
get
it's
that.
like I'm in dreams and I'm aware they're dreams. I wouldn't say I'm controlling them, but I'm almost like I feel like I'm watching them as a TV show.
Mm.
Okay,
And
that's interesting.
it's a I don't know, it's this weird place, and maybe it's because of the hallucinogens and things that I've done, but um, but I also think hold on one second. Oh, cool. I have this theory that like, they don't really understand why we actually sleep. Like, they understand that the body needs to rest and things, but there's a lot that they don't understand. And I have a theory that like when we sleep and we dream, we are connecting with like other universes.
Oh my God, you said it. Oh my God, I've said it so many times on this
Oh,
podcast,
man,
dude.
I'm so relieved to hear you respond like that because some people don't get it. They don't understand what I mean. Like,
That
No,
shit's
I
real.
swear you're peeking into other instances of your own life in a parallel universe. I've said it so many times, dude.
and I think
God.
that your soul that exists across all the universes, all realms, we have to connect sometimes. We have,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Well,
that's what dreaming is.
so that's a great theory because if you think about dimensions, right? A one dimension is a flat plane where you can only move left and right if you're imagining it as just like a line for now. And then a two dimension is a place where multiple one dimension layers are stacked on top of each other. So now you can go up, down, left, right. And then you
Right.
get to three dimension where there's literally every single angle you can look at, there's a different two dimension. So
Right.
we live in a three dimensional world. No matter how anyone wants to look at this, there's multiple dimensions stacked on top of each other here. So when you're dreaming and you're peeking into where you can vividly see yourself and you are experiencing, you're feeling these things, it's a full lucid dream where you're feeling you have to be peeking into another dimension that's layered into your own reality that is like we're saying like a fractal presence of another parallel
Mm-hmm.
universe. And that's, oh man, let me tell you guys, I get some. So for me, lucid dreaming is a little bit different. When I was a kid, I always had recurring night terrors. It was the same one over and over. I've said it on the podcast before, so I'm not going to go into it again. But I can remember vividly the worst nightmare I've had as an adult. So my grandmother passed away last year, among five other people. Like five people all died, late last year and late 2021. So it
Yeah.
was a
I
really
hear that.
crazy time. And my grandmother was like, dude, she was that person for me. Like my mom and my grandma meant so much to me. Everyone in my family did, but specifically, like she was my best friend. And whenever she passed away, I had a lot of trouble coping. And I remember I had this dream. I can remember it so fucking well. It made me, like right now I'm getting goosebumps and fucking getting shaky and shit and feel like I'm gonna puke because it scared me so fucking bad, dude. In my dream, I knew it was a dream because I knew she was dead and my grandfather was dead. In the dream, I walk into a diner and I looked and there's a table and they're like, your table's right this way. I was like, oh, I haven't even fucking like made a reservation. And my mom, my pa, and my grandparents were sitting at the table. And she was like, "Oh my goodness, I'm so happy to see you. I'm so glad you made it." And that's when it kicked in. It was a dream, right? I was like, "You guys are dead." But I was so happy that I was having this experience, like I was talking to them. And I was like, "Oh, you have no idea how much I've missed you guys." Like, and I'm crying my eyes out in the dream. And then my grandmother, my mom, she says, "Come back here in this back room with me." And then we walked into a room and then all of a sudden it turned into the laundry room of her house and it was dark as fuck in there. And I looked to my left and my grandmother grabs me, hugs me, and I started realizing the hug was hurting. And I was like, oh, you're hurting me. I'm uncomfortable. She lifted me off my fucking feet. And I remember in the dream I was scared shitless. I was like, I know it's a dream. I'd like to wake up now. This is fucking terrifying. And it's like she picked me up and started spinning in circles so fast. I remember being dizzy when I woke up after this and puking and stuff, and because I was crying so hard. She spun me in circles while her face just sunk in, like she looked like a skeleton of herself, like when she passed away the last time I saw her, how she looked. And all I could see was her mouth open wide as fuck, like unnaturally, like a python or some shit, and repeating over and over, "Why didn't you tell me about the death scream? Why didn't you tell me about the death scream?" And it was like,
Whoa.
yeah, and I couldn't fucking wake up. I was trying so hard. And when I woke up, my fiance was like, over time, she's like, "What the fuck's wrong?" And I was fucking sobbing uncontrollably, couldn't catch my breath, started puking and shit. And I was like, oh my God, that was the scariest fucking thing that's ever happened to me. And that's one of the things that I'm saying, like, if these are peaks into another existence, then that was the scariest fucking universe I could have possibly visited, and I
Oh,
never
man.
want to go back there again. Like that.
Well,
Ugh.
that's a scary prospect because if these are other universes that we're peeking into, then a lot of them are really scary. Like, not to say like they're not. I'm sure they're normal for whoever's living there all the time,
Right.
but
Our perspective of them.
yes, is terrifying. I mean, for me anyway. I don't know. Sometimes it's like, what can my mind think up? But
Let's bring that into real life. Our perspective of another country can be terrifying. We don't understand, like,
Oh, don't get me started on
yeah,
that.
that's what I was about to say, man. I'm like,
America makes you think the whole world is terrifying, but everyone's happier than us.
yeah, for sure. If you guys could pick one country to live in, where would you go?
Honestly, I've been talking to a buddy, guy that Vianney and I have been working with, Jay Burns, bro. He's a producer. He's out of Australia, and he's starting to make Australia sound like a pretty good option, I'll be honest with
From what I've heard, Australia is like British Texas, where everyone's a lot friendlier, but their government is like a little too hands-on at the moment, just right now. And that's not even all of Australia. That's just certain parts where they were dealing with COVID and the
you.
bushfire.
Point me in the direction of a country that's not the case.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. In fact, the more government control you get, it seems the happier people are, which I hate saying that out loud. But you got places like fucking Sweden, and you got Singapore specifically. That's what I was thinking, not Sweden. Singapore. I don't know if you guys know the history of Singapore. I think it's less than 60 years ago, it was a third world country, and now it's one of the biggest economies in the world. They're a first world major, piece on the chessboard, and they have laws that are so strict. Like, you can't, if you throw gum on the ground, bro, you're fucked. You're going to prison, like, for 20 years and shit like that. And they are so, like, hyper focused on controlling their citizens. But but here's the argument with that, right? You talk to someone who lives in Singapore, it's a certain type of person that lives there. If you're not that type of person, not a person who's okay with being told what to do at all times of the day and be like, if everyone does exactly what I tell you, we'll all be happier. People who do it, they're told all the time and are okay with that, we'll be happy in that setting. Me personally,
yeah, that ain't me. That ain't me.
yeah, exactly. Me personally, that's fucking terrifying. Having someone be like, I saw you throw that wrapper on the ground. I saw the wind pick it up out of your pocket. You fucker. You're going to prison. I'd be like, oh God, no. It's just, but then again, this is coming from a place of being fucking terrified of the government because we live in the world we live in right now where
Yeah.
I think there isn't. What do you guys think of? I don't think there's a separation of government. I think right now all this shit that's going on between China, Russia, America, this, and that, there's a top 1% that's pulling the strings on all sides. It's not actually like America and Russia and this heated tension. It's like some motherfuckers are like, how can we make money out of this? Let's make a show and then we'll do some shit behind the scenes.
It's the ones that have been in charge the whole time.
All since the beginning.
Like the beginning, bro.
Like the beginning.
the guys who built came
Like
over
since
and
Rome.
built it all. Like,
I don't
yeah.
know check my facts on this, but like I know that all, like from what a little research that I've done, is that all the elite bloodlines they all have a rare blood disorder. Like, I forgot what it was, but like
Hemophilia.
yeah.
Oh my
So-
God, that's how they killed Itachi. That's fucked up.
So they'll have like a blood disorder, and then that's why that's where I guess the adrenochrome, and all the blood shit.
A lot of that stuff stems from it, yeah, and it's called the royal disease because it has afflicted many leaders over the years. One in particular is the royal family. But yeah, very strange stuff. I do agree with you there that there's
I also
somebody
think
pulling the strings.
history is fucked up. Like they somehow went back in time with Tesla during the Manhattan projects and rewrote the history. So his history is like,
Hey guys, I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Oh, you're good.
I think there's like an ancient there's a civilization before us. That's what I believe. I don't know. That's from what I mean, I could agree to this, like from the podcast. You ever heard of the tinfoil hat podcast?
I have not, but that's
Sounds
something I
awesome.
think I should look up. Yeah, that sounds like it's right up my alley.
It'll right up the fucking alley. Like that shit's like so crazy and shit. Because the shit on there is just incredible. It's like I would listen to that shit all the time. But then it's like it makes sense, the way they talk about it. It's not just they're throwing bullshit out there. They bring people on it that studied it, and kind of pretty cool.
Dear God,
Right.
man. I'm reading about this royal disease because I've never heard of that. And it's called that because all of the royal families of England, Germany, Russia, and Spain in the 19th and 20th centuries have been affected by it.
Yeah.
Weird, huh?
That's fucking crazy to
What
think
are the
about.
symptoms?
Hemophilia is just like where you don't have a natural clotting agent, correct? Once you start bleeding, your body has trouble stopping the bleeding.
It
like-
can be a myriad of things. You can bruise easily. That's a form of hemophiliac, or you can be cut.
Okay. I know what you're talking about now. Okay.
Like there's a few different types and a few different. Yeah, it's a little bit strange,
I don't
but
science well, but
it's a weird blood disorder. Basically, that your body's lacking certain enzymes that either enable clotting or uh, disable clotting as well. So, like that being said, if someone's anemic, they bruise very easily and they bruise deeply. It's very similar with someone who can be affected by hemophilia. Or that I feel like I'm saying it wrong. Am I
No,
saying
it's
it wrong?
no.
hemophilia. That's
Yeah,
right.
that's right. That's right.
Dude, it's crazy. The only reason I even know what that is because of anime. That's so
I
that's so,
don't. I don't
that's
know
so lame.
why. That's who you talk about when you say. That's funny.
Bro, it's so weird, man. Like I've learned 90% of my life lessons from anime growing up because I just didn't have like structure at home, really. And we didn't have like good TVs at a lot of our houses. I remember watching Naruto originally the first time. I had to go to my friend Levi Combs' house and watch Naruto at his house every Saturday. His mom would make us like dinosaur chicken nuggets and we would watch Naruto. It's one of my best fucking memories. But I learned more from those shows than I ever did fucking normal experiences until I hit my 20s. And
It's
I
funny.
know it's lame to say, but it worked.
It's funny because I'd say the same thing about music.
Fuck yeah. Dude, that's fucking wild though that is the identifying moniker. I know you guys have if you've done any sort of deep diving into this, have you guys heard about Vanguard and BlackRock? I mean, we've talked about this for Griffin.
Oh, yeah.
Bro,
Yes, we have
I
talked
know
about
all
it.
about that.
But
oh man, Viani, if you haven't heard of Vanguard and BlackRock, dude, you gotta look into that shit. It is so wild that they literally control every major company you've ever heard of, and they
Yeah.
give you the appearance that there is a competition, but there's a monopoly the
They
entire time.
control 99% of the money in the world.
Yeah, okay. I know. I didn't know the name of it, but I know that there's like that, that one, you know,
I
people.
like I like your fucking ideology though that I agree with you that I think there was a civilization. I mean there were thousands, millions of civilizations before us, but I know you're talking about like an advanced civilization, more advanced than our own. I think that's what aliens are. I think it's
Oh,
whoever
for
was here before
sure.
us.
Have you ever read The 12th Planet?
I've not. What is that?
Oh, bro, my God. It's all about the Nephilim. It's literally the story of the Nephilim.
Dude, I have that tattooed on my knuckles. Do you know that?
You have got, I'm telling you, like, that book changed my life. It changed.
Crazy.
I had found out, like, I spent more years than I'd like to admit on conspiracy theories. Uh,
Oh my
um,
God.
no,
but
man, it's good to do your research. A lot of this, well, history is written by the victor, and we're not necessarily in a sea of people who are going to be honest about stuff.
no,
Like it's
the
human
history in
nature.
American education, bro, is a fantasy, is a fairy tale. It's,
Yeah.
But
um,
you were saying, go ahead. Sorry,
no, you
cut you off.
could. Uh, shit, what was I saying?
You're talking about
Ancient,
reading into
the
Oh,
Nephilim.
yeah, the Nephilim, the 12 planet and everything. Like, I was I grew up Christian, and then I started digging into different conspiracies, and then really, like I started with the conspiracy because I wanted to learn about other religions. I was curious, so I was digging into other religions, and then I started digging in a little bit into Christianity and like where the Bible comes from and this and that. And I found out how the Bible was assembled and how, basically like from the very beginning of the Bible as we know it today, it's been a form of propaganda that's used to control the masses and um it threw me for a loop. Like that really messed me up. And I was looking, into all different things, and I found this book, The 12th Planet, and it's by a guy named Zechariah Stitchin, and it's the first in like a series of 5 books. I've only read the first one, and that was enough for me. I'll be honest. Like it answered all my questions, but it's like the most detailed story of human evolution from before you've ever heard anybody talk about human evolution. That you have to take everything with a grain of salt because nothing's actually fact. We don't really know anything right now. But it just as if you read it, it just makes sense. The story it like makes you understand humanity.
So I'm realizing now when I'm looking at this that I've read excerpts from this from deep diving the internet that we're citing this book. I've read several excerpts that cite
I
this book.
highly recommend it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
This
check it
is a
out.
book that Graham Hancock. Well, I believe he brought it up as a like he does deem it as fiction, like uh, yeah, fiction. But
Yeah, Zechariah Stitchin, before he died, actually came out and said that like no, nothing I said was true. I'm wrong, like kind of like Darwin did or whatever. But
Yeah.
I don't know if he believed that, then I think he was just channeling some shit that he doesn't understand because there's something there, bro.
Facts. That
and he's the
channel.
one that propagated like Anunnaki
Yes,
and
yes,
the
and
Nibiru.
Nibiru.
Yeah, planet, and with that, it stems like from there. We got Planet X. We got like there's so many theories that branch off that as well,
Yes.
and um, a lot of it. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, but it's 3,800 year eclipse orbit around the sun or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, that sounds about right. And we got a planet approaching that's on a really, really big orbit. I'm just saying this, the times are looking crazy. It wouldn't be, I don't want to sound too crazy on here, you know what I mean?
Well, and
Bro,
there's also a prospect that maybe that planet that was orbiting us in that long, long orbit, well, not us, the sun, that is now
Yeah.
the Kepler asteroid belt. Like that is a portion of why we have it
Huh.
there.
Hmm.
So that's another theory that stems out too. So, I mean, it's very interesting when you have people who can profit off a narrative that is also exciting and almost, well, I don't want to say grounded in truth, but very plausible in the terms of what we actually know. And it's very fun to speculate, and I personally believe in a lot of the things that he was talking about, but it's an interesting prospect that we can even share those ideas with one another through media and books and stuff like that. Because, like, can you imagine if this was all word of mouth kind of thing? Like
Oh,
back,
yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
I
good.
feel like literature really started to monopolize belief in spirituality. I didn't witness it, obviously, but like
yes, you
back
Yeah,
at the
did.
time,
Don't
yeah.
lie. I know you're a time traveler. Don't fucking lie to me. All right,
you
all
have
right.
no
I have the
proof.
best question ever. If you guys had to pick one song to send out into the ether for other life forms to hear to explain humanity, what song are you gonna pick?
Leonard Skinner, Freebird.
Fuck yeah.
Well, that's like that sums it up. That's the
Why do you
world.
have these answers so quickly, Vianney? Like, did he like secretly send you these answers or the questions before? Because I mean, you just coming with them.
No, it's
These
just
are
it's like
questions.
these are just deep. Like I already, that's just how I really feel. I didn't even have to think about it. I already know it.
Phew.
What about you, character?
Nah, please gotta go first.
All right.
Oh man. Oh man.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I need a second on that one.
I'm gonna
That's
tell you. I'll tell you mine. I'm picking "Exist" by Vince Sevenfold easily. That song, 15 minutes long, literally just explaining humanity and like our attempt to reach other planets and shit. It's so fucking good, man. That whole album is a concept album, and it's got multiple different paradigms in it. So the first paradigm is like that the entire world is a simulation. All of this is coded ones and zeros. And then the second part of that paradigm goes into we've started to write our own code, and now we're creating God. We're creating the thing that created us by creating artificial intelligence. And then it goes into a third thing that's like there's actually an advanced life form that's just been watching us the entire time make a fool of ourselves from killing each other and war and famine all the way from start to finish. If you've not listened to that album, I'll go ahead and preface it is like metal. It's like rock. Not metal. It's definitely not. I wouldn't know what to call that fucking album. It's so good. It's so fucking good from start to finish. Though it just
it
talks
sounds like
about.
Coheed and Cambria.
I've never listened to any of their stuff, but every single time I bring up Avenged Sevenfold, I'm told that. I'm told that exact thing. You should listen to Coheed and
I mean, I
Cambria.
know about Avenged Sevenfold. I just never heard that about that song or that
That
album,
fucking
dude?
album's incredible. That was their most recent one, dude, and it changed. I mean, dude, they won so many fucking awards for that shit. Man, because I followed their career from start to finish. I got a giant fucking death bat on my chest. I love all their shit, but that album specifically, like, they took lyricism to a new level in that album.
That's
One of my
cool.
favorite lines of the entire album, he's talking about like how we're starting to completely become symbiotic with technology, and he's talking about your phone or technology in general, and he says, "Have you noticed that we're needing it more now, more than it needs me?" And it's like, oh God, when it said that, I was like, oh shit, I'm not gonna touch my phone for a couple weeks. I'm scared now. I'm
Yeah,
terrified.
it's just like everything is kind of crazy. Like, I don't even watch I haven't watched TV, or my girlfriend gets like upset because I can't sit there and watch a show. But it's like this shit is like controlling people, like without even realizing, kids at a young age, like all that stuff,
Oh yeah.
like, yeah, I depend on my phone a lot and shit. But like, I'm on my phone, but I'm taking care of like networking or whatever. It's like I don't ever watch any stuff like that because like I'm focused on the thing. But then I used to be so fucking involved in that shit, and then it's like it just changes your mindset on everything too. It's like, damn.
That's the only thing in my life I can thank drugs for. To be honest with you, it's the only thing I can thank drugs for is giving me that paradigm shift of being like, maybe you shouldn't become immersed in what society is immersed in all the
Makes
time.
sense.
Same,
Yep.
same, same.
Like,
True.
I had a severe problem because
Yep.
bullied through childhood, hit high school. Once I hit high school, I was one of the fucking popular kids, and it's just because everyone started doing drugs, and they were like, "Oh, you got drugs." But I fucking fell into that shit heavily, and I was the kid that wore in the South. You wore Sperry's with Nike socks, and you listened to fucking Chris Brown, the lamest shit ever. I like Chris Brown now, not bashing on Chris Brown. He's very talented, but looking back on like my old post on Facebook, I'm like, fucking Jesus, dude. That is just the cringiest thing ever. And that's part of growing up. But I remember the first time I did acid and I looked at not the first time I did acid, the first time I had an ego death and I looked at myself in the mirror and I was like, "Oh my God. Who is this fucking dork? I hate this guy." And that was the best thing that ever happened to me. I swear to
That's
God.
cool.
It was the best thing to ever. I don't think I ever would have met my fiance or had my son or any of that if I didn't have that moment of like, dude, you're a loser.
Yeah.
I swear it was so important.
I can relate to that with mine. It's like, like I kind of still, I still battle my shit, but it was when I was like, realized, holy shit, like, I'm a fucking nobody, and it's like from that, like, I would think like Socrates realized that he's the smartest person from Athens because he realized that he knew nothing. If I realize that I know nothing, then it's my potential is limitless. Like, I could do anything because
Mm.
I'm not so like stuck to like, oh, it's like every day I'm learning some shit, and it's just, but yeah, like, and it's a love and hate with the drugs because it's like, fuck. It also helped me identify like myself more, help me even how people see it as this evil shit, because like I did I do methamphetamine, and it's like fucking, or I had a problem with that now, just fucking whatever, but it's like, just like people take it perspective like different. Like for me, I was like, damn, what the fuck, like I fucking found something deeper than myself in this world, and it's like so just focused into it, and it's like with the music and spirituality, it's like you tap into something like far deeper than what the humanity could even fathom, and it's like you can't even fucking fathom it, and you just know. Like even with music, like with my music, like I don't, like most of it is just, it all comes from somewhere where I can't even fathom. Like lyrics come from my life through my perspective, but it's just like, and it's like you wouldn't even experience it. Like I did shrooms for the first time when I was like 14 with my aunt, and that was like the best fucking experience ever because it made me realize that we're all in this fucking world, and we all have different knowledge, and we could all come together. Like I was saying, like Legos, how like Legos can make a fucking car or masterpiece. You get the right minds together, you can make a fucking kingdom. Like that was my thought. Like at 14 or like 14 years old, I'm fucking on shrooms and shit, and it's like you drugs, like we're these drugs are I feel like are just gateways to something deeper than yourself, and then that's why the government and the world hates them and shit. And
Yeah.
then we just of course there's bad ones and shit like that, but like it's just all perspective, and it's just like it's a love hate thing. Like it ruins lives, kills people, but like the reason why is because it's how it's controlled. Like I feel like if we regulated the drugs and it was all like decriminalized, there wouldn't be that much death because then they would have places, responsible places they could go, and everything will be regulated, just like with the marijuana now, how it is. but it's like they're making too much money off the war on
Yeah.
drugs. You know?
Incarceration is a huge fucking driving factor in America's war on drugs. They're like, how many people can we get in here so taxpayers will have to keep giving us money that we can pretend are going to these prisons?
DEA will be like there'd be no DEA. Like
Yeah.
it's a whole fucking department. There'd be no they're not gonna do that.
I like what you were saying about when you realized you knew nothing, so you could always learn something. One of my favorite quotes is BJJ legend, a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu legend. I cannot remember his fucking name right now because I'm, going on 2 days no sleep because of a sick baby. But he wanted to die being buried in a white belt as opposed to a black belt because he wanted to be remembered as a student and not a master. Because there's always learning to be done. And for those people that think like, oh, dude, I fucking know it all. Oh my God, you are the most ignorant of all of them. Truly. There's so much growth and I was that guy. I'll tell you right now. Like I really was that guy when I was a kid. One of my favorite things to tell my teachers or my parents or anyone, I was like, "There's no way you know more than me. You're fucking stupid." I would say that all the time. I would say, "There's no way you know more than me." Now that I'm older, I wish I can go back to every single person I ever said that to and be like, "I'm so sorry. I was quite literally the dumbest person in the world at that point."
Yeah, that's
So
yeah.
I wanted to get back to the music thing because I did think about a song. Short and sweet. The best things in life are free by the Ink Spots.
Mm.
It's an older song, but it just has a lot of nice things that happen on Earth. It's about the moon belonging to everybody, like flowers, robins, sunbeams, lots of wholesome stuff. I feel like if we're going to be sending out a signal into space, it should be something with good intention.
Oh my God, no, I was wrong. Oh God, we're all wrong. We've thought about this the wrong way. You know what we need to send out there? Wet ass pussy. Every fucking
Well,
every fucking species in the universe will come to get laid. Think about all the horny motherfuckers out there that ain't doing shit.
Yeah, then they'll protect. They won't blow up. The Earth
That's
or
what I'm
whatever.
saying. They're gonna be like,
They'll
wait,
be
hold
like,
on.
oh
There's a
shit,
there's a
we
pretty
got bodies
precious
over here.
finite resource
you're
here.
talking about turning the Earth into a sugar baby, and I'm here for it.
Hey, all I'm saying is really think about it. Like they would come in droves. There would be no more questions like, are we alone in the universe? It would be motherfuckers knocking on your door every day like, yo, is your
You
girl single?
could charge them to come through. You know what I mean? It's like fucking.
I know you guys aren't familiar. Or you may be, I don't know, but there's a show called Trailer Park Boys. In one of the episodes,
I've heard that shit. Shit's funny.
this guy like he loves cats, so he makes a place that's full of cat hotels, and he just has little sheds all over the place, and he like builds hotels for cats. And then one day his cohort, his buddy, has a stag party, and then they just turn the shacks into fuck shacks, and every single person like in there is just fucking on cat beds and shit, and they all get crabs from the cats that were there. I don't even know how the fuck that happened, but that's just like that's what Earth will be pretty much. It's just gonna be every disease you can imagine from universes and aliens we've never experienced coming down here, being like, "Hey, you guys got a shack? You guys got a fuck shack? I heard the song. I got the signal. I came as soon as I heard it.
Are you guys familiar with the movie District 9? Sorry to interject, but
Fucking
Yeah,
love that
yeah.
movie. Movie's
Oh,
great.
crazy.
Yeah.
that's an interesting take. Like if you step back from the narrative kind of bit, like imagine that was our first contact, like a lost mining ship that just it had to park here because it had nowhere else to go. You know what I'm? And they're not like they are intelligent, but you know what I mean? Like it's not like a super big like change the planet type of thing. Like yeah, we get some new technologies from it and stuff like that, but it's like I feel like
Yeah,
that's wild.
Hmm.
That's
I
more
mean,
of how it would be, I feel.
the
yeah.
Because
reality
why
is
else would they
That
come
makes
here?
sense.
we've definitely already had contact. Like that's the reality of it. They're already here. I don't care what anyone says. It's dude, the government is now, and I was talking to you about this the other day, Griffin and DJ. The government is now using UFOs to cover up other news. When in history has that ever happened? We've always used other news like, oh my God, there's a war in Vietnam. Fucking simultaneously, there's shit crashing from the sky, and we're studying and reverse engineering it. This is the first time in history where our government's like, hey, check it out, UFOs. And there's more pressing shit that's happening in the back.
It just shows our ignorance. We were distracted by the Super Bowl.
It's true, bro. And what about that fucking AI? Have you seen that fucking shit that like
They had to shut it down.
that shit is so fucking trippy as fuck. This whole government shit is like they're
Wait, wait,
controlling.
wait. What AI? What happened? I must
Like
know.
fucking they could do like like the thing that they could do with that shit now. They can make voices, like make it sound like
Oh,
people,
Oh
make
no, bro, there's some company that developed a couple AI like androids, and they had to shut them down because they started developing their own language.
oh, that's terrifying. Oh, geez,
Hmm.
that is
like
terrifying.
they could copy anybody's voice. They can make them say anything. They have AI Juice World songs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
What do you guys think the history of AI is in rap?
I don't know the history of it, but like I know
I didn't mean
recently.
history. I meant future. I'm
Oh,
half
future.
asleep.
No, like the future of it is like it's me and character were talking about that shit earlier. It's like there's just one, somebody that we know that does a show that was advertising this AI to write lyrics for you. It's like, damn, that's kind of like that takes the whole like the hard work that like the artists do to make the
Yeah.
music. It's like, damn, you're just gonna like it's kind of like it's I don't know, just takes the humanity. It literally takes the
Yep.
humanity and the emotion and stuff
The
like that.
soul out of it. The
And
soul
then
out of
literally
it.
everybody and their grandmama can make like your baby can make music now like with lyrics and stuff. Just type in a couple things, It's like damn, it's like what else can they do over like like it's crazy as fuck to me.
Well, you already got people that are doing that too that aren't even AI, like DJ Khaled, man. I mean, respect the guy. He's been in the game for fucking ever, so you can't hate on what he's done. But he puts creative property rights under his son's names, and then gets artists to come on that have lyrics written for them by other people, and then he literally has producers come on and produce the songs for him. Like in this last album, I don't know if you guys listened to any of that most recent album, the God Did album. Fucking a lot of great songs on there. But he literally came out in an interview and was like, "Yeah, like the most famous song God Did. There was a guy that produced that whole song. I'm not even sure what DJ Khaled did on it, but I'm honestly ignorant when it comes to the production side of music. That's just an article I read. I could be wrong, but I think we're already stepping in that direction of like so many rappers don't even fucking do their own shit, and I lose so much respect for people or whenever they're like, I have a friend that he had a ghostwriter, and now that
Mm,
Chat GPT is out, you guys know what Chat GPT is?
no.
It's an artificial intelligent chat robot. You can put any command in it, ask it any question, and it'll, like the other day I asked it, what's the best hot sauce recipe? And it created a hot sauce recipe on the spot and then made it specific to my region. It was like, yeah, it was like peppers in your region specifically grow. You could use this kind of
That's too
combination
much.
here, here, and here. Yeah. And so ChatGPT, oh, dude, I've been invested in this shit too. There's multiple companies. Anyone listening to this is not financial advice, but you should definitely look into ChatGPT as an investment opportunity. Just explore it yourself, make your own decisions, whatever. I've been looking into it. Like right now, type it into my computer. I can go in here and ask it, what's the best way to make a successful podcast? And it's going to generate an entire script based on like it using it's an open source thing too, so tons of people are working on this and it's getting better all the time. But
She
I've
typed
got
in how to blow up on TikTok or how to blow up on Spotify.
let's see.
Shit, I'm gonna have to ask that question. How to trigger the algorithm.
See, I think
No doubt. No doubt.
am I already on this shit? I can't remember which account I'm on it under. We'll have to
That's
see. It's such a crazy yeah. So right now, here's all it takes to fucking sign up for this shit. For anyone listening, you go in, it asks you to put in your name. So for me, I always use a pseudonym when I'm putting my name and shit. I never
Mhm.
use a
No
real
go,
name.
no go, yeah, no go names.
And but you go in there and it asks you for a name, then asks you to verify a phone number, and then it's like, here, check it out, try us for free. And you just ask it a question or even say, like, can you write me an essay based on this topic? That's how a lot of college kids are using it right now. You can be like, hey, I need an essay on fucking 1900 politics in fucking Maryland or something. If Maryland was even around then. Ah, it was. I don't know why I just said that. I'm
I'm from Maryland, bro. Chill.
that's probably why it was at the front of my mind because you said that. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's funny. I'm kidding.
I've had like one person that I work with tell me like, and like I thought he was cool. He's from here, local or whatever. And I was like, oh shit, local artist is cool as fuck. And then like he told me that he used that, and it's kind of like oh, like you just kind of lose that like I don't really want to work with you no more type thing. Like I don't know. That's what I felt with him. It's
Bro,
like
imagine getting in the studio and he's like, hold on, let me ask my AI bot to write me some lyrics to this beat. I would be like, bro.
Bro, there was one kid that hit me up to collab, and he sent me his music, and he does all of his vocals with an AI voice.
Like he doesn't
Wild.
record his own voice?
No,
like
it's
like
just an
the
AI voice.
like the Siri, but the dude back to him type that English. the English one.
Whoa.
See, like he types the words and it's crazy. But he gets them on beat sometimes. But it's
He
just like
does, but it's still like I didn't know what I could do with that. I was like, I passed.
it's like
Yeah.
there's no emotion. It's like
He
robot.
makes meme rap. I didn't know what meme rap was until this kid came around, and yeah, I don't want anything to do with it.
Damn, dude. That's what, oh man, Nephilim the
What
other
is
day was
meme
wanting to
rap?
make a meme album, and I was like, oh crap, man. I just am not well versed enough in it, which he spends a lot of time on his computer when he gets free time from work, and so he knows all about that shit. And I'm sure he could find a way to make it interesting and sound cool. But I guess he's older than me too, but I just feel old, when I talk to people now. I guess
Yeah.
it's just a weird
How old are
feeling.
you?
Well, I know this is, I'm only 26, but.
Shut the hell up, man.
I know, but in my area, I don't have friends honestly in this area. Everyone fucking died or went to prison, and the only few friends I have left are I don't really want to fucking talk to them because they're fucked in their head. They're still doing drugs and they're
Feel
still
that.
banging and doing all that stupid shit. So the few friends I do have left. Nephilim's one of them. He's still like, I feel like he's more hip than me. You know what I'm saying? Like he's more attuned to what's trendy, whereas I'm definitely not.
I feel like that's how character is. Like I don't know half the shit. He knows like all the for playlist like the reels and I don't know none of that shit. But like I know character knows that shit. So it's
I'm
like
Well,
terrible.
I mean, and that's only because I had to adapt in order to keep my career alive.
Yeah.
exactly.
You know, it's been really difficult.
But you learned it though. You
Yeah, yeah.
I still need to learn that shit.
Well, that's why we a team, man. I got you.
Exactly.
Can I tell you guys something? And you can make fun of me if you want. I'm terrified of TikTok.
I downloaded TikTok 10 times. I made an account, I think the seventh time, and I didn't open it once.
I'm terrified of it, dude.
Dang.
I'd rather use it. Like
This is the first time I've ever agreed with our government on anything. They recently said like they're gonna completely ban TikTok.
Yeah,
They're trying to,
China's trying to control us, bro.
yeah. And I am so terrified of that shit. I don't know why, but have you looked into the fucking like read the terms and conditions on that shit?
yeah.
I've heard enough to not have to.
Oh God, it's terrifying. And and I've seen the firsthand effects on it. Like
Oh shit.
let
Me
me
too. Fuck.
let me clarify before I say anything. I love my fiance with all my heart and soul. But a couple weeks ago she downloaded TikTok and I swear to God she's addicted to it now.
Addicted, yeah, that's how I guess the female
That quick.
quick. She's probably going live and everything too now. Probably it's like shit.
No,
Fuck.
she's too shy for all that. She's
Oh,
really
right.
shy. And she's like really under the impression that like everyone hates her because she's like black and a woman. And she's not wrong. They have a lot of shit to deal with, like being black and a
Oh,
woman.
no doubt, no doubt.
Could not imagine. Like I can't imagine her plight, and I never try. I just try to support her and be there for her when I can, and try to make things lighthearted. But she's got her own shit to deal with. But when she gets on TikTok, the first thing, and this is what I think is the worst part about TikTok, within 30 minutes of her being on TikTok, I cannot make this up, dude. Every video she scrolled on was, and this is a quote from one of the videos, "Why Asian people hate black people." And it was like
Wow.
every single thing she scrolled on was why a certain demographic of people hates her.
Wow.
I was like, that is poisoning you. You've got to get
Wow.
off of that.
The
And
algorithm shit is crazy.
and and I asked her how she got to that because I know how the algorithm works because I did social media marketing for years, man. I mean, I fucking hate marketing now because of how much I had to do that shit and how much time I spent on social media and learning the algorithm of different things like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And so I asked her, it's like, well, what was the first couple of videos you searched or spent an extended amount of time on? And she said, I just literally looked up black creators, like black, she was trying to find other black people to support. And so then China, using the divisive tactics they're using with TikTok right now, was like immediately like, okay, let me feed her why everyone hates her.
They're trying to create civil unrest.
Yep, exactly. And that's so insane to watch it happen that quickly. And I was like, okay, you've got to delete that shit, which, we got a little debate over it and she never deleted it. But I just try not to listen to it anymore because, you can't tell someone who's got their mind made up about something that they shouldn't do it. Me telling her that TikTok's evil and China's trying to take over the world sounds like crazy talk. I mean, to anyone listening to this, I'm sure they're like, damn it, man, he's back on conspiracies because we always go down the rabbit hole in these little talks, but it's terrifying to me.
Shit's real, It's crazy.
But On that note, I hate to ask to cut this short, fellas, but I am getting long in the tooth, and the snow is falling around me. I need to go mail something before.
Love the way you just said everything you just said.
Yeah, bro.
All right. Well, real quick, we'll go ahead and give you both you guys a plug. What do you guys got that you're working on?
Actually, today I have a verse video that I shot for Chase Holland that I worked with Asylum's design on. He did the graphics for it, and that's gonna be the first of many projects Asylum and I team up for. But yeah, that's gonna be dropping, and then probably after we get off this,
Where can we find it?
it'll be on Instagram.
Cool. I'll and send me
Oh.
your guys' links and stuff afterwards, and I'll plug it. And then, how about you, Viani?
I just dropped an EP. Just uploaded to distro, so it should be on by this weekend or next week. 5 tracks. I mixed and mastered the whole thing. I didn't make the beats though, but you can find it's gonna be on app platforms. Asylum Designs designed my cover. Shout out Asylum Designs. If you need art, Asylum Designs on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm on Instagram all the time, so if anybody's listening here want to hit me up, it's at Viani Lucca. And that's for YouTube, Viani Lucca. So yeah, check me out. Check me a character out. Big things, building a little community of like-minded artists, and just trying to all make it.
Awesome.
I got one question though. Please, what does long in the tooth mean?
Long in the tooth. Okay. Is that okay? Oh. Yeah, that might be a Canadian thing. That means
For sure.
long
No,
in the tooth.
we hear it in Tennessee.
Okay.
It's just saying you're getting old. It's just
Okay.
like it came from horse teeth. I remember my grandpa told me about that. Yeah, it's an old
That's interesting.
anecdote about the
crazy.
longer a horse is alive, the longer its teeth are.
I never heard that before. That's
Specifically,
interesting.
it's front teeth. But my grandpa told me that forever ago. He's a very wise man. But okay, we gotta end this. Everyone listening, you guys know I like to give you a little outro. What we talked about. I guess the most important thing I would like to take away from this is that you can find community and love anywhere in the world. Once you search for your perspective, you search for what you're dealing with. The best place to find it is music. Come on, man. All the problems
yeah.
you have, all of the things you're going through. You may not have someone who's going through the exact same fucking thing, but there's someone who's feeling the same way you're feeling, and they're making beautiful fucking music about it. And it might help you through some shit. And as always, if you need help through some shit, don't be afraid to reach out. We love you all. Everyone listening to this. I love you guys. Thanks for coming on this podcast. This has been incredible. And we'll definitely have you guys back on if you want. I'm planning on soon doing a season of reruns where I have every of my favorite guests come on. We're just going to do a whole season of just fucking home runs. But thank you guys so much for coming on. And to everyone listen, don't forget the most important quote of all time. Griffin, do you remember it?
Well, yes, you better not choke on your daily dose of 2 pieces of toast.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, love you. Peace.